I just wanted to provide a quick recap on the Prime Minister's visit to the region. Of course, a bit of a whirlwind but long trip, starting with the ASEAN Leaders Summit. As you know, Canada is now in its 48th year of having a partnership with ASEAN. And this year, Prime Minister Carney was invited as a guest of the chair, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim from Malaysia. And it really set the stage for the Prime Minister to be able to address the leaders at the opening plenary and talk about Canada's priorities as it pertains to ASEAN. The message was clear. I think that Canada continues to be ready to be a reliable, steady partner for all the things that our ASEAN member states are looking for. Good quality agriculture, agri-food products, a reliable stream of energy, critical minerals partnerships, and even further into technology areas such as quantum, AI, cybersecurity, etc. So I think a really terrific couple of days at ASEAN. The Prime Minister had bilats with, of course, the host Prime Minister from Malaysia, also with Vietnam, the Philippines, and Laos. And those are important engagements because I think what we learned from previous meetings with those folks is their recognition of the need for them to engage with Canada on agriculture, on energy, on critical minerals, on critical technologies. And so I think those bilaterals were very effective and very important. It was also important for the Prime Minister to urge them at the political level to accelerate as quickly as possible the conclusion of the Canada-ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, which I think by all measure we're hoping to conclude next year. And I think that will be another very important step going forward to diversify Canada's exports into the region. Now today here in Singapore, the Prime Minister had some very good bilateral meetings with some important investors based here in Singapore. PSA, the Port Authority of Singapore, who has two significant investments in Canada, in Halifax and in Ashcroft, British Columbia. He met with GIC, the founding sovereign wealth fund from here in Singapore, and of course with Temasek, with whom Canada has a long relationship. And the purpose, of course, was to renew the message that Canada is ready to receive more investments, more strategic investments from all of them, and in some cases for the Prime Minister to renew some of his personal acquaintances. So all in all, a terrific day here in Singapore. Tomorrow morning, of course, we'll be meeting the Prime Minister and I believe the Finance Minister before we leave for the APEC Leaders Summit in South Korea. And of course, there will be more engagements there, bilateral engagements, addressing the Leaders Summit of all the APEC economies who were present, and some important corporate bilats as well. So a very effective use of the Prime Minister's time here in the region, and a reminder to our partners and to all of Canada of the importance of this region economically and geopolitically for Canada.
Do you have a sense, Ambassador, of what are the issues that have caused that ASEAN free trade deal to be pushed out to the end of next year?
No, I think trade deals are complex. They're complicated, and when you're dealing with a 10, now 11 country bloc, it just brings into play a lot of complications that are in some cases unavoidable. Recall that CPTPP took about 7 years before it was taken over the finish line. So just safe to say that all of our partners with whom we met are very keen to get this deal done next year. We're on the heels of closing a free trade agreement with Indonesia, and of course this will only enhance the ability for Canadian exporters to seek broader markets here in the region.
Ambassador, in terms of the investors that the Prime Minister met with today, which major projects are they interested in?
So they are, I think I can say broadly speaking, with everybody with whom he's met, they're very keen on energy. The world is going to be craving energy with the explosive use of AI, with data centers, and Canada's ability from this year and going into the future to export significant volumes of clean LNG from the west coast of Canada to the Indo-Pacific region, to the ASEAN region, is top of mind for them. They're also very well aware that last week the Prime Minister did an announcement in Darlington to talk about the commercially viable SMR project that's been launched that will be completed probably in 5 years. An enormous appetite from our partners in the region to see Canada deliver on this very important technology, to see what sort of partnerships or scalability that they can access once we've proven the concept.
Today, President Trump and the new Prime Minister of Japan signed a critical minerals agreement. What does that mean for Canada? Does it mean that the U.S. is turning to other partners for critical minerals?
Well, I would say that, first of all, Canada is in a very, very strong position globally in terms of our supply and our expertise in critical minerals. And particular to Japan, we have some enormous opportunity with Japan on critical minerals projects that are leading to EV battery production facilities, EV OEM facilities. So I think Canada is very, very well positioned for almost an insatiable appetite from reliable partners to deliver and partner on critical minerals.
But the President signed with Japan, didn't sign with Canada despite our resources out.
So I think Canada and the U.S., and I stand to be corrected, do have an agreement on critical minerals, a strategic agreement that goes back a few years. I don't think whatever happened with Japan today will hamper anything that we're doing either with the U.S. or with Japan.
What explains Japan's welcoming the U.S. president between these two summits with Norway?
You'd have to ask Japan, but of course we're here. We were at ASEAN for the full 2 days. We're here in Singapore. We're going to APEC, and we'll have lots of opportunities to do a full, comprehensive bilateral visit to Japan. But in terms of our agenda this time, it's a very, very full schedule, and I think the Prime Minister is very happy with the time he's been here so far and for the next 4 days in Korea.
You mentioned the personal relationships that Mr. Carney has with some of the business recently. Is that a strategy that the government is pursuing to try and use his previous business ties to increase investment in Canada?
Well, I don't know if it's a strategy as much as good luck in the sense that, and good fortune in the sense that he does know a lot of global leaders and a lot of global corporate leaders, including heads of.
Sorry, can you say that again with the chart?
I'm not sure it's so much of a strategy as it is good fortune that our Prime Minister is very well connected globally to not just political leaders, but to corporate leaders, leaders of significant investment firms, sovereign wealth funds. And so it's natural for him to leverage those relationships to accelerate the promotion of Canada as a reliable, trusted partner with enormous opportunities in agriculture, in energy, in critical minerals, in technology, AI, quantum. These are things that all of our partners, it's less that we have to tell them about it because they know. It's more about just reinforcing our willingness to work with them as quickly as possible to bring investment into Canada and to solve some of their challenges on energy security, food security, critical mineral security. So I think it's a very good opportunity for the Prime Minister to leverage those relationships.
You also served with Mr. Trudeau, the first Prime Minister. Can you outline the differences in your estimation between how Mr. Carney is handling this region and how Mr. Trudeau?
I love them both, and I'll leave it at that.
To lower tariffs.
Can you just clarify the personal relationships? If we have pre-existing relationships with anyone that you know?
Oh, absolutely. The CEO of GIC, the chair of Temasek, the chair of Temasek Trust. I mean, he knows everybody.
To lower tariffs, Japan agreed to invest $500 billion in the U.S., Korea $350 billion. That's their commitment. Is Canada not getting a trade deal because we're not committing to investing in the U.S.?
Well, we are.
Have to do that to follow Japan?
We are the second largest investor in the world into the United States, which is just a function of the integration of our economies. I can't speak to the deals that those countries made, but we're, as everybody in Canada and America knows, we are a significant investor in the United States economy.
We'll do a last question. What's your sense of how
Well, Japan is first and foremost very pragmatic in terms of its geopolitical and economic relationships around the world, and they would expect that we are equally as pragmatic. There's no concerns, no issues about what we're doing to secure our economic prosperity whatsoever.
Is there a sense that we're competing with Trump here in the region? In the same place, meeting the same people?
Well, we're here. We have a very specific Canadian value proposition that was well articulated and will continue to be articulated. So we view our presence here as being Canada in the ASEAN region. Keep in mind that this region, ASEAN plus Indo-Pacific, is our second largest export market altogether with about 12%. So we have an enormously powerful footprint here, and we're just going to try to accelerate it and build more export to this region as quickly as possible.
But is there a competition there?
I don't see it that way.